it right. I mean, this speech, man, at first I thought it was like a deep fake.
Okay.
And then I was talking to another guy about it. He goes, no, bro, I saw that. He said to the whole audience, it was in Finland, I believe.
Okay.
It's all the elitists get together every year to decide what economically across the world needs to happen right now or for the next year. Turns out in 2020, before the pandemic started, and this guy Boris told it to the audience, and they're all cheering. You got Biden sitting up there by himself, kind of a shit-eating grin on his face, because the first thing Boris says, hey, we need to give applause to President Biden here, because when we started our 5-year plan goal in 2020, now we're in 23, and I've got to let everybody know, it looks like our plan, that 5-year plan, is now going to come to fruition in 2025, and Biden's been, since 2020, he's been our biggest participant in our world, how did he put it? Our world economic future plan. So guys, it looks like by 25, and this is Boris talking, by 25, we will have the 50% less population like we set up starting in 2020.
So what are you thinking? Is it population reduction just by war, or is someone going to snap their fingers?
I think the first lead to see complacency across the globe, because of all the information we're getting out now, they were blocking people on Twitter before Elon Musk and Facebook from like governors being able to communicate with other governors alone about the things that were going on. This lady's got a great speech on
the
TikTok.
Governors can't communicate with each other?
No, there was a time period during this pandemic that these officials couldn't communicate with each other because I guess in Facebook there is this hidden behind all of it is this little switch that you can turn on that basically blocks that person's account from being able to communicate with anybody else.
But can't they just text each other?
Yeah, I don't know what the lady's whole. I didn't watch the whole speech, but what she was doing is she was calling out Facebook for this happening. And you know what? No, she can. She made a comment. She goes, "You do understand that you guys are idiots. All I gotta do is call Elon.
Yeah.
I mean, plain and simple. That's all I got to do." And what she was trying to get them to do is admit that they were deceptive. Very deceptive.
Oh, okay.
They have way too much control over all of this, like the elitists. And she goes, no longer is this stuff going to be able to, like, we're going to hold everybody accountable here, but we know how that goes.
Yeah.
There's no accountability whatsoever. But, you know, with these vaccines and everything, relatable to COVID only. We got a new one. Dude, they're talking about another pandemic in 25 right now.
But what kind of pandemic?
What are they calling it? It's called the disease. I don't remember what it's called, but have you heard of the WHO organization?
The WHO? No.
The WHO. They're called the WHO.
Not the band, right?
No. That's good. No, they basically took over the World Health Organization.
Okay.
CDC still has power, but it's basically WHO now. They call it WHO, World Health Organization.
Oh my goodness.
World Health Organization. Yep. So they're already talking about the next pandemic in 25.
Okay.
And this pandemic, this next one, it's a global. What they're calling it is the global virus now. Is what they're going to call it, the global virus. They just made a. The CDC just approved this pill that you will swallow. It has a tracker in it. You'll get this little like tattoo on your arm, and that will activate the pill and activate you for tracking purposes. So everything that you put in your body, all of it.
But why would you swallow a pill though?
That's what they're going to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what they created.
Crazy.
Because it's a transmitter.
It
probably needs to dissolve as it goes down because it needs to get in your gut before that transmitter is exposed, I imagine.
Okay.
You probably couldn't just swallow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically the same thing. But this will be able to determine what you put in your body. The way the WHO is talking about this is, oh, this is going to be the most amazing thing because we'll know your whole medical. No.
Like medical history?
Yeah, like what your individual self needs.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it on that level, but that's not why it's happening in any means. China is already, China's already implemented a, they call it the social credit score. I don't know if you've heard of this yet.
I heard of it, yeah.
Yeah. This is coming to America soon.
Man.
And what's crazy in China on that credit, social credit score, let's say you jaywalk, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get docked a point. If that jaywalk docks you down a point that puts you under the social credit limit score, dude, you're ostracized from the whole community. You will not travel. You will not buy food. They've got all of these kind of LCD screens that they put up all around their city. They got like holographic images and a stopwalk. So as you were driving, it's like an advertisement. You would drive through it. They're going to use that technology to post that person's picture so the rest of everyone can see exactly who they are. And they're asking the citizens, they're not even asking, they're saying that this person will no longer be part of the community at all. If you have interaction with this person, your credit score will go to there.
So you get like shunned.
Shunned.
Yeah.
And it's that whole see it, tell it.
Well,
it's mind blowing to me, man. It's mind blowing.
I don't think anyone's going to be able to get me to swallow any kind of pill.
Oh, fuck. No, hell no. No. I don't even have the vaccine. I can't even get that vaccine.
Oh,
to be very honest. Yeah. I have a very kind of unique. I'm an O negative.
Okay.
So I'm a giver, not a receiver. I can't take anybody's blood.
Yeah, a universal donor.
But I can take somebody's blood, say who had Down syndrome.
Okay.
But I can't take their blood because they're already afflicted.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this or not, but people with Down syndrome, autism, Asperger's, I don't know if you know this either, but Elon Musk has Asperger's.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's why he's so weird. He is.
Yeah.
Well, we call him weird, but I mean, some of the most epic people in history fall under that category. Anyway, so I can only take it from there, but people with the Down syndrome, they don't actually die from Down syndrome. They die from heart disease in most cases.
Oh, why is that?
Enlarged hearts.
Okay.
So you notice how the status of their body looks kind of like a child as they become adult?
Right.
That's one part of it. The internal part of it, notice how if you've ever been around with somebody with Down syndrome, the kindest person you're ever going to meet. The softest person you're ever going to meet.
Yeah.
Unless they're kind of backed in a corner. Kind of like a monkey or an animal.
Like threatened?
Or whatever, right? Not so much threatened, but it could be something as simple as startled.
Oh, okay.
So you can put your hand on somebody with Down syndrome. Let's say it's a male.
Okay.
I didn't know this, but at about 20 years old, I learned this. So my first job ever was Red Robin. I was a server there every year. We would do this thing called the lemonade stand.
Okay.
We would bring in people with special needs, and then they would follow us around for like a week.
Okay.
So they'd have interaction with the public, learn a skill at the same time, so on and so forth. But my last day with mine, we had a great time. In the first 3 days, I'm not going to be, I'll be honest with anybody, I was very uncomfortable.
Okay.
I didn't know where that feeling, that uncomfortability came from until now, but I put my hand on his shoulder to say goodbye to him, man, and he did it in laughing. That was probably the only thing that did it, that made me not freak out completely, because I put my hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
Next thing I know, man, I'm on the ground. This cat is on top of me, has my arms pinned down, and he's laughing his ass off.
Man, you got attacked by a Down syndrome guy.
But here's the thing. I'm so glad I did now.
Okay.
Because the strength that body has, man.
Yeah.
It's like a monkey.
Yeah.
And I've asked us as humans, not that they're not humans, we're all humans, but I've asked in our state of being, why everyone truly, if we step back from this, why truly can we not move like a monkey? We go work out.
Yeah.
I always present this to people. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
I started a new body competition, right? And I went around underground and got the most Ever.
Okay.
Nobody's heard about them. Nobody's seen them. I mean, you would see it immediately in that octagon ring.
Sure.
And then I went out and I got, just say, chimpanzees.
Okay.
And I shaved down their teeth and I shaved down their nails so they can't kill the fighter. Who are you going to bet on every time?
I don't know. I'd have to bet on the fighters.
No, I'm betting on the chimpanzee every day, bro. Every day.
No teeth, no nails, though?
Oh, no, that thing's going to crawl up, dude. The physical strength that they have in their hands alone is mind-blowing, dude. Monkeys can sit there and crack open a coconut with their fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, these are beasts. What if I got a silverback?
Oh, well then, that's no question.
Right.
Yeah.
What if I just got a gorilla?
Right.
Does it even have to be a silverback?
No question there.
No question there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it's crazy to me that we're so socially and psychologically locked into this place. I've never seen a monkey work ever. This thing can swing from tree to tree.
It's true.
Like it's an acrobat.
Yeah.
And even an acrobat can't do that. Tell me, what are we really missing here, everyone? I'll give you a secret that I found.
Okay.
At least here in America. All the chemicals are bad.
The chemicals?
All of them.
What about
The
them?
phone, the car, the clothes. Have we considered yet in our own minds? Probably about no more than probably about 150 years ago, all of our clothes alone were made out of cotton and hemp.
Yeah.
It was a requirement in this country to grow hemp by the kings and the queens
Okay.
in this country when we came over here off the boats.
Sure.
But then it became illegal during Prohibition.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a movie called Reefer Madness?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen
If you
it.
ever get a chance, man, it's the biggest propaganda movie I've ever encountered in this country alone.
Yeah.
You ought to watch it. It's black and white. There's no audio. It's all subtitled.
Didn't that have something to do with the war effort, though?
It's
Too
big
many soldiers
propaganda.
were getting stoned and they were worried about it? No?
No. They were giving our guys drugs in World War II. They were giving our guys methamphetamine in World War II alone.
Okay.
So was Hitler. No,
Trying to make like
super soldiers.
super soldiers. Yeah.
No, I came to this place in the last couple of years when it related to World War II alone, and I'm like, I wonder if we alter a couple of things in that story, if we might see kind of a bigger picture here. And one of my big ones was he really trying to create this white Aryan race, everyone? I don't think so.
Oh, Hitler?
No, yeah, I don't think so, man.
Well, what was he trying to do?
He was trying to make super soldiers. He was using chemicals on himself as well. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
If you were just trying to make one race over there, then why would you do that? And the humans are one race anyway.
Yeah.
So what difference would it make?
Right.
It makes more sense that he was trying to create a Captain America.
Gotcha. So then he was working with Hydra to make super soldiers.
Bro, I'm telling you, I think Marvel might have. I think Stan Lee was onto something, dude.
He might have been.
No, I really think he's onto something, dude. We cracked the genetic coding in humans, everyone. Have you ever heard of a company called CRISPR?
CRISPR, no.
We're saying right now in science and medicine, by 2030, about 30 to 40% of men on this planet will be sterile because of our synthetic chemicals. But don't worry, everyone. We have a gene editing company that you'll be able to design your baby from ground zero. Skin tone, height, weight, hair color, eye color, all of it. Boy, girl.
Yeah.
You want your child to be 6'2"?
Designer children.
There are designer children coming, for sure.
So is autistic spectrum or mutants?
Yes. I'm autistic. You want to see the coolest thing, man? I found 10 years ago on myself.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll start out with my life from New Guinea. Don't get sad or anything about it.
New Guinea, okay.
At 2.5 years old, I was placed in an orphanage in California with 2,000 kids.
Okay.
It was the last orphanage in the United States.
Okay.
We no longer have one.
Yeah.
Because of situations like Jeffrey Epstein. Remember I said that.
Got it.
Remember Jeffrey. So that was one of the big reasons why we don't have this anymore. It's an adoptions agency now. It's in Pasadena, California. It's a place called 5 Acres.
Okay.
It still exists, but again, it's not a orphanage.
Okay.
I'd be there until I was 10. 2 years after I was adopted, my parents were going through marital problems.
Sure.
My mom used me as a scapegoat because she had an affair
Oh, no.
on my adopted father. He'd find out 20 years after the fact. She put me in a group home at 12 until I was 16. At that point, the judge stepped in and said, Dustin, you can go with your adopted father or you can emancipate yourself. You're of the age now.
Okay.
What would you like to do? I went and emancipated myself.
Right.
18, I went out to the world. Only reason why I'm telling you this part
That's
is-
tough. That's tough. That's got to be tough.
Bro, I can't even tell you.
I can imagine.
But here was the kicker of the whole thing. They put me through 14 years of therapy every day as a child, not by choice.
Okay.
They did this to me. So now that I understand muscle memory and how this body actually works,
Okay.
I'm like, oh shit. They built that psychology into my muscle. 150%.
What sort of psychology?
So, like, if you're an adult right now to go deal with your trauma, you go see a psychologist, right?
Right.
You'll probably spend the next 10 years in that psychology.
Uh-huh.
If you put it more in the realm of muscle memory and actually how our bodies work,
Okay.
the commonality between almost all highest level athletes out there alone is they all started their practice at 3 years old. Would not only learn it through the brain the whole time, but also the muscle simultaneously.
Okay.
So I always bring up Tiger Woods.
Okay.
He started out at 3 years old. He'd swing
Right.
the club every single day.
Mhm.
So that way, by the time he was 18, it's already developed in the brain.
Yeah.
He knows everything there is to know about golf. But then he gets up on the tee and he's out of his head. He lets his body do the swing.
Just reflex.
It's reflex.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just like our memory center of our brains are reflex.
Mm-hmm.
But most of this, I believe, is from the neck down, not the brain. Everyone. The
Nervous
brain,
system.
Bingo.
Yeah.
All the neurons spitting off like that. And have we asked ourselves, where's that energy coming from, everyone?
Okay.
The brain's just muscle. So where's the energy powering our brains coming from? What is that?
Oh, it's our food, right?
No,
No?
that's our energy.
Okay.
Religion would call it your soul. I
Gotcha.
mean, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Where else is it coming from? It's not like an outside source here.
Right,
I mean,
right.
there are ions and everything and energy all around us,
Mhm.
but you need something to harness that energy.
Yeah.
These capsules, I think there's already that natural state of being that's always happened, but we're not interacting with the same energy anymore because of all this chemical. Chemical is energy.
Uh-huh.
If you think about it in carbon, like stars,
Uh-huh.
that's all gases,
Yeah.
which is chemical.
Yeah.
Chemically based. That's why we call ourselves carbon being. That's why I believe psychologically, when this whole global warming came up, they
Mhm.
wanted that pushed hard so we don't talk about the synthetic chemicals here.
Obfuscation, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't
So,
look over here. Look over here.
Over here, absolutely,
Right.
every day, and that's for all of us,
Yeah.
including myself.
So do
Look
you?
at both of your-
Did they invent the global warming? Is that what you're saying?
No, I believe it's a cycle that already happens about somewhere between about every 2,600 years maybe, and 3,200 years. The Mayans had talked about this.
Okay.
That calendar that ended in 2012,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that was not the end. It was actually talks about a beginning. So we have these, we'll just say 3,000 year cycle
Sure.
that happen. When this happens, and we get the end of one cycle into the next cycle, so the best way for me to put this would be, we're coming out of the age of Pisces, which is the fish,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to the age of Aquarius, which is water.
Mm-hmm.
What do fish live in?
They live in the water.
And what's 75% of our bodies, everyone?
Water.
And what's 75% of this planet?
Water.
That cannot.
Ah.
I mean, that's too coincidental,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll show you what I found. Look at both of your palms real quick. 90% of us have 3 distinctive lines. We call it the headline,
Okay.
heart line, lifeline. 1, 2, 3. This is not palmistry. Do you have those 3 lines on both palms?
Yeah.
I'm only bending it because it's a little easier to see those palms.
Got
You
it.
can see how deep, just bending it like that,
Yeah.
you can see how deep those 3 lines are in on me. So, this is 90% of us. We're inside in spirituality. We look internal for our answers.
Okay.
Not external. I'm showing you why. That's your internal palm, not your external palm.
Yeah.
We call it palmistry, but literally every culture is always used headline, heart line, lifeline, the 3 lines.
Yeah.
So that's 90% of us across the planet. We ever look in the mirror and ask what's different about us, everyone? Internally, 0.
Yeah.
0. I mean, down to man and woman even.
Right. Right.
Just reproductive part. That's
Yeah.
it. Everything else is exactly the same. So 90% of us have those, which I thought was the coolest thing, because we are one human race here. Always have been, always will be.
Yeah.
Everything else is cultures.
Mhm.
But America has not allowed us to even bring culture side into schools, so it's a mandatory teaching. So, of course, we're all separated psychologically. 10% of us have a singular line that looks like that.
Okay.
I was born this way. This is known as the simian line or simian crease. Have you ever heard of the word simian?
Yeah.
S-I-M-I-A-N, but it's also a name if you think of Trevor Siemian, who was the quarterback for the Broncos.
Okay.
That Trevor Siemian, though, his last name is actually about a man named Simeon, and that story's in the Bible about his tribe.
Okay.
The way you spell this is S-I-M-I-A-N. It is a medical term that doctors here in America gave it about 130 years ago.
Okay.
They started noticing kids who came out with the simian line, left hand, right hand, or both hands. First, we're showing the dispensation of Down syndrome. But Down syndrome is attached to Asperger's, autism, all of it. Where you brought up the mutant side of this, that's the original mutation, everyone, because Down syndrome came from us keeping it in the family. You ever heard of the Rockefeller family?
Yeah.
Have you heard the conspiracy about that? That they're an
haven't.
ancient bloodline family that have been in power forever?
No.
It's not a conspiracy, it's 100% true. It's because of the purity of their blood.
Okay.
Remember I said I was an orphan? I learned about this 10 years ago. I was born this way.
Okay.
But the 10% of us who carry the simian line, left hand, right hand, or both hands, 60 to 70% of us show the affliction of Down syndrome or autism.
Okay.
I am talking about a lineage story right now. Our lineage as humans.
Gotcha.
But
You know what? You can just stop right in here, turn around, and
Okay.
I'm good.
5 years ago, I discovered this 10 years ago.
Okay.
5 years ago, I had my DNA tested and my chromosomes tested. This is where we find the overlay on my 21st chromosome.
Okay.
Relatable to Down syndrome, autism, all that.
But why
And-
did you have your DNA tested? Aren't they
I'm
going to
about
keep
to
a
tell
record?
you.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell you. Because I had no background whatsoever. 5 years ago, I had a major heart attack and found out that I was born with heart disease.
Oh my God.
That's why I said somebody with Down syndrome, they don't die from Down syndrome, they actually die from heart disease. The number one disease for all of us here is heart disease on this planet. No matter how long you live, you will get heart disease.
Yeah.
When I got my DNA back, my best friend has this on both hands. The day I went through my divorce,
Okay.
or the day I was moving into my new place, I meet my best friend. His name is Frankie. After about 2 weeks of hanging out, I had only learned about this 2 weeks before I met him. I knew the definition, the old world monkey related to the new world monkey, including humans. That's all I knew. And I told Frankie about it after about 2 weeks of hanging out. And I was like, bro, have you ever heard of something called the simian line or simian crease? It's like, no. Gave him the definition. He's like, that's really weird, bro. I mean, what is it? So I just put my hand up, almost like, have you ever seen anything like that? He goes, you're funny. Have you ever seen anything like this? He has it on both hands.
Oh, look.
Well, I'm not joking you, man. When I saw this, something has snapped in me. Over the last 10 years, this story's been coming out of me. So when I got my DNA back, it confirmed everything. Because I looked at Frankie, it was like, hey, bro.
Okay.
If this whole, property of the pure bloods on this planet,
Okay.
if it's not a conspiracy, we will have fact to this after I get my DNA back. I'm 98% Eastern European, 2% Egyptian. Pharaohs carried that in the Egyptian times. Buddha in Asia. Kings and queens of the European tribes. The high chiefs of the Indian tribes over here.
Wow.
It's the purity of our
So
blood.
you're part royalty.
I'm 98% Eastern European, 2% Egyptian, and no other blood in me.
No kidding.
There's a big time gap, though, between Egypt and Europe. That's a migration. We migrated out of Egypt. Our 2022 years, everyone, it's a doctorate. It was doctored.
Oh.
The whole thing was doctored by people like the Rockefeller family. That's why they've had this power the whole time. The true power, forget all of this, everyone. The true power comes from the one that holds the history, correct? Because you could apply any story you want in there.
Yeah. All right, man.
I understand that. That's why all this is happening right now.
Thank you very much.
Hey, brother, man, you have a great weekend.
You too.